So tonight is going to be live number 3 of the workshop Engineer Journey 2024. And I would like to thank you very much for your participation over the last 2 days, and obviously those ones that also attended the warm-up session last Thursday. And thank you for your interest. So just a quick reminder about the draws, because then you still have about an hour or so. So you can, if you haven't done yet, you can still do it. You still have the chance to win a discount of 75% of my online mentoring program, Validation Formula, that I'm going to be opening the new group tonight. What you need to do, you just need to take a screenshot of live number 1, live number 2, post in your stories and mark my profile. And then you go to the Instagram post of the 75% discount, and then you just write a learning from live number 1 and a learning from live number 2. And obviously you need to be present tonight during when I doing the draw. If you're not present, then I'll have to redraw again. Okay, so you still have some time. The QR code on the screen will take you to the post in my Instagram. But otherwise, you can go to my Instagram profile, and then in the posts, you will find the 75% discount post. Okay. And also after that, I will be giving away 15 minutes of free consulting. So for those ones that are in that post, I'm going to use the same post of the 75% discount. For those ones that didn't win the 75% discount, you will be running for the 15 minutes of free consulting. Okay. All right, so what are we going to see tonight in live number 3? We're going to review the whole validation process to solidify knowledge. As I keep saying, adult learning is different from, obviously, children and teenagers. We adults, we learn by repetition, usually. And tonight we're going to review the whole process. We spoke about the whole validation process since the warm-up session in live number 1, in live number 2, and tonight we're going to review, obviously very briefly, the whole validation process. So if you have any questions about each of the steps, you can also put in the comments, and then we will be discussing about that. Also, I saved for tonight very important hints and tips to prepare a successful CDR application. A lot of the information that we've covered, majority of that is already in the booklet. So when you read the booklet 5 to 10 times, and I said, I'm not joking, you need to read the booklet, Engineers Australia booklet, between 5 and 10 times. Majority of the information that I gave to you guys, it is in the booklet. But tonight I'm going to be giving you some of my experience in analyzing and reviewing lots and lots of career episodes over the last 13 years. So there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of hints, do's and don'ts that I'll be sharing with you. And also, I'm going to be giving away the 75% discount in my mentoring program. Also, 15 minutes of free consulting. And just remind you, I just saw that Christian just joined us. And next week, we will be doing the free consulting, Christian. I'm going to contact you so we can schedule our 15 minutes of free consulting. And I encourage you guys that didn't win the consulting to also attend the session, because Christian's question can also be your question. And the answer and the conversation that I'm going to have with Christian can also help you in answering your questions as well. The live session is going to be on Instagram. next week, and we share the screen live, and then Christian can ask his questions. So I'll be contacting you, Christian, maybe Monday or Tuesday. We can then schedule the free consulting. And also, I'm going to be opening up, as I said, a new group of my mentoring program, Validation Formula. And I'm going to explain everything about this, how much is going to be the investment, what's going to be the special offer that I'm giving to you until tomorrow, the discount, all the bonuses. And I'm going to do a little bit of tutorial and show how is my mentoring program as well. And what's happening tomorrow? Well, the workshop finishes tonight, but tomorrow it will be finishing the special offer. I'm going to give you a special offer tonight, and tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. Brisbane time, the special offer will expire, and we'll just have a normal offer, not a special offer, but a normal offer. Okay, so we're going to review the CDR process. What's going to review tonight? I'm going to talk about the validation pathways. I'm going to talk about the 6 steps of the CDR process, the CDR reports, the 3 types of the reports, the costs involved in the CDR process, assessment time frame as well. So, pathways to qualification validation. So we saw that in live number 1. There are 5 different pathways that you can oversee trained engineers. The Australian qualification, when your accreditation is your qualification is accredited by Engineers Australia, you can apply under the Australian qualification, which is fairly straightforward. Then your qualification is under the Washington Accord. According to the International Engineering Alliance, if your country that you graduated and your course is accredited by Engineers Australia, and if you graduated on or after your country became a full signatory, you can apply under the Washington Accord for the category of professional engineer. For the category of engineering technologist, it's under the Sydney Accord. And for the category of engineering associate, is going to be under the Dublin Accord. All the same, the country needs to be a full signatory, your course needs to be accredited by Engineers Australia, and also you need to have graduated on or after the country became a full signatory of those accords. The process is very straightforward. You just fill a form, you pay the fee, you demonstrate your CPD, and that's it. But majority of engineers, I believe that all of you will be under the CDR pathway when the qualification is not accredited by Engineers Australia, even like Ryan said yesterday, even when the country is part of the Washington Accord, and you graduated after the country became a full signatory, but unfortunately the course is not accredited by Engineers Australia, so you need to apply under the CDR pathway. And then the countries that are obviously not accredited, you have to apply under the CDR pathway. So the 6 steps for the CDR process. So 6 steps. The first one is personal information. You need to have your photo, a passport style photo, your identification. It could be your national ID card or your passport page as well. If you change your name, I know that there are some people, they change their name either by marriage or either by choice. So if you change your name, you need to provide your change of name certificate or your marriage certificate. The CV or your resume also is part of your personal information. And as I explained the other day in live number 1, after you graduated, you got to have all your experiences. You cannot have gaps in time, even if you just studied, even if you just took a gap year, or even if you just working something else. And then your English test result, you also need to provide in there. And you can do your IELTS, your TOEFL, or your PTE, and you make sure that you're going to have the minimum scores in each of those tests. If you don't have a minimum score in one test, you can combine more than one test as long as it's the same type of test and they are all still valid, which is 3 years since you took the test. So that's step number 1. Pretty much straightforward. Usually the English test is the one that's going to be perhaps holding you up. And then step number 2 is when you're doing your application, you will need to, when you're doing your application, you need to nominate your preferred occupational category and the occupation that you're going to apply for. The categories are the professional engineer, the engineering technologist, engineering associate, and engineering manager. Reminding that engineering manager is just for migration purposes. If you are approved as an engineering manager, you're not going to be eligible to become a member of Engineers Australia because the occupation, it's not engineer, the occupation is manager. However, for migration purposes, you can validate as engineering manager with Engineers Australia. And then the occupation, again, very important. You need to go to the Australian Bureau of Statistics website and search for ANZ SEO, the Australian New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupations, where you will find the definition of your type of engineering. If you are a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, a chemical engineer, environmental engineer, production engineer, those definitions are in the ANZ SEO occupation definition. And it's very important, and I'll say it again, it's critical, almost life or death, that when you're choosing your experiences to write your career episodes, it needs to match the definition of ANZ SEO occupation definition. If you choose a wrong experience, you can still address the competencies. That's strange enough, but yes, you can. You can address all the 16 competencies using a wrong experience. If you do that, even though you addressed all the 16 competencies, probably, or most certainly, Engineers Australia assessor will ask you to rewrite your career episode because fundamentally, you chose the wrong experience. So, and I talk about that in my mentoring program as well, how to best choose. I've got an entire module just to teach you and help you to choose the right experience for your career episode. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is about your education documentation. So you need to prepare your academic certificates, especially your bachelor degree certificate, if you are applying obviously under your professional engineer. If you're applying under engineering technologist or engineering associate, you'll have the relevant certificates as well. Academic transcripts are also very important to be provided. And if they are not in any document that is not in English language, you will need to translate into English using an authorized translator. Very important that when you submit your translated documents to Engineers Australia, you need also to attach the original language as well. And when you scan it, as I said, you scan in high resolution, minimum of 300 dpi's in color. and any other relevant academic documentation that you would like to provide. For example, a post-graduation course, a specialization, a master's degree, and then obviously the certificate, and if you have an academic transcript as well. People ask the question about course syllabus, the curriculum of your course. You don't need to send those ones. Unless Engineers Australia assessors, they ask you to submit the course syllabus when they are comparing if the content of your degree may not be so similar to an equivalent degree here. They may ask you to send the course syllabus so they can compare if they are really equivalent. So that's step number 3. Step number 4, it's about the skilled employment. So evidences of employment. In the validation process for your qualification, skills assessment, the reference letter is enough. So when you're doing your reference letter, obviously, especially if you're using a work experience in your career episode, you will need to provide your reference letter. Reference letter, as I explained, on a company letterhead, stating what was your title or position, the date that you started, the date that you finished, if you're working full-time or part-time, what was your base salary? It could be weekly, fortnightly, hourly, annually, whatever. And also, it's important to have at least the 5 main activities that you performed. Not just 5. If you want to put just 5, a minimum of 5. If you want to put 5, 10, yeah, that's okay. And also, it's important that the letter is signed by your supervisor or somebody from the human resources department, and make sure that you have the contact details, like obviously email and telephone number. So that's step number 4. And if you're going to ask Engineers Australia to do the RSEA, the Relevant Skilled Employment Assessment, which is going to be validating your work experience time, it's very important that you send the reference letter as your primary documents, and also you need to send the secondary documentation, which is going to be your pay slips, your tax return, your social security statements, your superannuation statements. Maybe you have a job agreement that you signed, like a contract. In Brazil, you actually have like a booklet, carteira de trabalho. It's also important. Usually it is the government issued documents or documents issued by the company as well. So that is for your secondary documentation. But remembering that the RSCA is a separate process, and usually the migration agents are the better people to provide advice on the RSCA. So that's step number 4. Step number 5 is going to be the 3 types of report that you need to prepare. And this is going to be probably the most difficult part of your validation process. The 3 types will be your CPD, your continuing professional development, and CPD being, I think I've got a separate slide on that, but I'll talk now and then we can skip later on. The CPD, continuing professional development, are going to be your learning events. And learning events is not necessarily just courses. How do we learn things? Obviously, we learn when we do courses. We learn when we participate in seminars, webinars, workshops, meetings, technical visits, technical inspections, when we prepare presentations, when we present something to our colleagues, when we do volunteer work, when we read technical magazines or technical books. For example, that's Engineers Australia magazine. sorry. So that's Engineers Australia magazine, Create. So it's got heaps and heaps of articles, technical articles, and I read that every month. Every month, because I'm a member, obviously, I get a magazine every month. And when I read the magazine, I can accrue some time for my CPD. And also, when you do volunteer work, you also can use as your CPD event. Very important that Engineers Australia, especially if you are graduated a while ago, for example, 5, 10 years time, Engineers Australia wants to know that you kept yourself up to date and refreshed within your engineering field, that you recycled yourself, you attended some professional development events, you learned something new, you are updating yourself with the technical standards, you are updating yourself with the legislation that impacts your profession. So this is your CPD. That's why it doesn't necessarily need to be just courses. Obviously, courses, they are part of a learning journey, but the other parts of learning is still relevant. And then the other type of report are going to be your career episodes. In your career episodes, you need to prepare 3 career episodes. And preferably, they should be covering distinct aspects or periods of your engineering career. Engineering career starts when you start studying, according to Engineers Australia. So if you don't really have a lot of relevant work experience in engineering in your field, you can use your academic experience. Engineers Australia does not require any work experience for your validation process. So that's why you can use just your academic experience. And that's quite common. Some engineers, they graduated and they never worked in their field. So in that case, you still can be validated. The only thing is that you need to use your academic engineering experience. In the career episodes, we spoke about it. Each career episode will have between 1,000 and 2,500 words. You can use a project, you can use a job that you're currently doing or you've done it. You can use a position that you occupy or occupied. But the one that I like the most is to choose an engineering problem. Especially, this goes a hint or a tip before I start the tip. A lot of engineers, they work in very large projects. And I've seen those engineers trying to write about the whole project. Imagine a project that's $100 million, for example. It's a huge project. And as a huge project, can have many, many engineering challenges. And they try to talk about everything. And they've ended up becoming very superficial, and they don't really demonstrate their engineering skills. And the end result is that the Engineers Australia assessor may not be happy with being very broad, being very superficial. So what I suggest you to do, if you worked in a very large project, try to choose a specific engineering problem. I'm pretty sure that if you work in a very large project, you probably have a specific engineering problem, which in itself, it's quite complex. So choose that engineering problem and then describe what was the problem, what were the options to resolve that problem, what were the engineering components of each of the options, what was your engineering judgment to decide which option to choose, and then implement that option what was your role in implementing that option, what tools and what engineering competencies you used to implement that option, and what was the final outcome. So have a think about how you solve a problem and describe that problem as your career episode. This is how I see that it can be more logical. It's got a start, which is the problem. It's got a middle, which is the solving the problem, and it's got the end, which is the when you resolved the outcome of that problem. So choose that and then write your 3 career episodes. Remembering that each career episode, you need to number each paragraph. So when you have, let's say, 2,000 words, you're probably going to have about 25 paragraphs. So number the paragraph. The first number is going to be your career episode, and the second number is going to be the paragraph. So career episode number 1, we'll start with 1.1, and we'll go 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. You need to do that because in the next report, which is going to be the summary statement, you will need to identify which paragraph number relates to each of those 16 competencies. So that's why you need to number those paragraphs. And then the summary statement, you can find the template in the Engineers Australia website. There is a different summary statement template for professional engineers, another summary statement for engineering technologists, and another summary statement for engineering associate, and another summary statement for engineering manager. So make sure that you choose the right one, okay? And then the summary statement, you will have the description of the 16 competencies that you need to address. And there are basically 3 columns in the summary statement. The left-hand column, it's where the competencies are described. So you need to read very well and understand really well each of those competencies. In the middle column, as I showed you guys last night, you will write why you believe you demonstrated that competency. So for career episode number 1, career episode number 2, and career episode number 3, you will need to write why you believe you demonstrated those competencies. And then on the right-hand column, you will need to write the number, the paragraph number related to that competency. So why is that? When the Engineers Australia assessor is looking at reading your summary statement, he or she will have the 3 career episodes. So read PE 1.1, for example. That's Professional Engineer 1.1. That's the first competency. And then he or she will look why you believe, and then there's paragraph number there, and then the assessor will look at the paragraph number, will go to the career episode, read that paragraph number, and make an evaluation if what you've written in that paragraph is related to that competency, and if you have demonstrated that competency. And then, obviously, if it is work-related, the assessor will grab the reference letter and will read the reference letter to confirm that your supervisor has confirmed that you've done that job. So that's usually how it happens with the assessor. I know that because I've done already when I was reading applications of engineers to become chartered professional engineers with Engineers Australia. And once you do that for the 16 competencies, you just need to do one summary statement for the 3 career episodes. You don't need to do 3 summary statements, just one that covers all 3 career episodes. And there was a question yesterday, if you need to address all 16 competencies in each of the 3 career episodes. It's not mandatory. The booklet doesn't really say that. However, if you want really your chances to be really, really high, I encourage my students and I teach them how to do it, how to address all the 16 competencies in every single of the 3 career episodes. Why is that? Because when you have lots and lots of evidences for each competency, it's almost impossible that the assessor will not be happy with the evidences that you provided. And when you have lots and lots of evidences for each of the competencies, it's almost certain that you will be approved. And that's the reason why all of my 36 students that already applied to Engineers Australia, all of them have been approved, and I will be showing to you later on. So that's step number 5. And step number 6, it's fairly easy. You just need to submit your CDR application electronically via Engineers Australia portal. So you will be creating an ID number if you don't have one already with Engineers Australia, which in the future will become your membership number. And you will choose what services you want Engineers Australia to provide to you. And you will fill the blanks, upload the documents, upload your reports. You will then pay the fee according to the services that you selected, and then you hit submit button and you just need to wait. Once you wait, you will get an email. The email could be, yes, congratulations, I'm pleased to inform you that your CDR application has been approved. Congratulations, here's your outcome letter saying that your qualification is equivalent to an Australian qualification, and this is your ANZ SEO code that you can use in your migration process. If you have applied for RSEA together with your skills assessment, in the same letter, if the assessor is happy with your documentation, they will state at the bottom of the letter that you also been recognized in terms of work experience, this many years in your home country and this many years in Australia, if that is the case. And also, if you have provided your master's degree, and if the assessor is happy with that as well, in the same letter, they may, if they're happy, they may put that your master's degree is also recognized here in Australia. However, if the assessor is not happy with something, they still will send you an email, but they're going to say to you that you need to either provide more information or provide more documentation, or sometimes you've got to rewrite your career episode. And that's a very scary email, because obviously you expect the email to be obviously that you have been approved. And sometimes I've seen already engineers that had to rewrite the 3 career episodes. And every time that you have to rewrite career episodes, you have to rewrite your summary statement as well, because obviously the paragraph numbers will be different. So Ryan's asking, are you charged again if you are asked again to provide more information, etc.? No. They will send you an email with the feedback, and they will give you 30 days to provide the required information. And they usually write that you just have one chance. So one chance and one chance only. So you've got to make sure that whatever Engineers Australia assessor asks you to provide, you need to provide, because when you send your reply with the additional information or additional documentation, Engineers Australia assessor will use that to make their final decision. So next email that you get, it's probably going to be, yes, thanks for your documentation, extra documentation, you've been approved, or sorry, the additional information that you provided was not sufficient, they're not approving your application. And then you can decide if you want to request an informal review, or later on, even if your informal review is not successful, you then may ask them to do a formal appeal. Okay? All right, so yeah, we spoke about the CPD, the career episode, the summary statement, as I said. And these are the 6 steps, and then you're pretty much done. However, I said that I was going to talk about costs and timelines. So the CDR standard, when you select Engineers Australia just to do your skills assessment, just that, it's going to be $850 plus 10% tax if you are here in Australia. If you are outside Australia, you don't pay GST, goods and service tax, so you don't pay the 10%. But if you are in Australia, you will pay 10%. And the result can take between 8 and 16 weeks, depending on Engineers Australia's availability, obviously. I haven't seen, especially from my students, taking less than 8 weeks. It can take 30 days, depending on if the assessor is free, fairly available. He or she may take 30 days to give you an outcome. But for the standard process, what I've seen is that it's taking at least 8 weeks. And I've got students that it took them even 16 weeks to get an outcome. So RSCA plus the CDR. So you're validating your qualification and also validating your work experience. And those prices, those fees are until the end of this financial year, 30th of June. From 1st of July, it's probably going to increase a little bit. So if you're doing your CDR plus your RSCA, it's going to cost you $1,240. And if you are in Australia, you've got to pay another 10%. If you are in a rush, you can ask Engineers Australia a fast track. A fast track, it's that Engineers Australia will allocate an assessor as soon as they can, and it can take up to 30 days. It can take more depending on, obviously, Engineers Australia availability. But I have students that they paid fast track, and it took less than a week for them to get their outcome letter. So maybe because it was well written and they did everything right, it was easy for Engineers Australia to assess, and they got a result in 1 week. Even I have one student that he submitted on Friday and he got the result on Monday. So that was really, really quick. It was the quickest that I saw. But usually fast track, 4 weeks, it's probably a reasonable time frame. But you got to pay, obviously, $325 plus 10% tax if you are here in Australia. If you want to do the RSCA separate, it's going to cost you $440 plus 10% tax if you are here in Australia, just to validate your work experience. Some migration agents say that the Department of Home Affairs, they also validate your work experience. I don't know how much that costs or if it's included in your visa fee. Some prefer that Engineers Australia will do the validation of work experience. Others they don't mind. If Engineers Australia, they do. If the Department of Home Affairs, they do. So up to you. And obviously, English test, you need to do English test. And for IELTS and PTE, I think still $445, I think. But it's about that figure there, between $400 and $500. So you need to make sure that you get your minimum scores, obviously doing one test, because if you haven't got the minimum scores in all of the 4 bands, you will need to do another test. And if you have to do another test, you need to pay the fee again. So instead of $445, you end up spending $890 if you do 2 tests. So make sure that when you do your English test, you've done some mock tests before, some simulations, and you're fairly comfortable with that as well. And obviously translations, depending on how many documents you will translate, it will set the cost for your translation. I remember that when I did my process, I had lots and lots of documentation to translate. Maybe I translated more documents than I needed. But I remember that I spent more than $1,500 in translation. I translated, quite a lot of pages. So, make sure that you count that. And when you get your reference letters, try to get the reference letters in English as well, so you don't need to spend money in translating those reference letters. Okay, so I'm going to share with you many hints to prepare a successful CDR. And I'm going to share with you hints for the CV, for the documentation, from the reference letters, from the employer, from the university, if necessary, for your CPD, for your career episodes, and for your summary statement as well. So hints for your CV, your curriculum vitae. Make sure that you put experiences, all the experiences after your graduation. And as I said before, no gaps periods after your graduation. If you have a gap period, Engineers Australia assessor will ask you, what did you do in this period? Oh yeah, but I was working as a cleaner. Doesn't matter. You need to put in your CV that you worked as a cleaner, or you were studying English, or you had a gap year and you traveled around the world, for example. If you're recent graduated, obviously you don't really have much to put after graduation. So if you're recent graduated, include your relevant academic experience. Maybe you did some internship. Maybe you did some specific projects that you want to use in your career episode. So include in your CV. And also important to include the referees from each employer or university with name, email, and phone. Necessary documentation that it's important in addition to the documentations that are included in the 6 steps that we just talked about. If you're using academic experience, you will need copy of the reports, projects, experiments, and so on. I'd say 99%. All the academic experience that I've seen my students submitting, Engineers Australia assessor asked them to send a copy of the reports. If it was a final assignment, they've asked them to send a copy of the final assignment. If they did an internship, a supervised internship, they ask to see a letter from the company where you did your internship, or a letter from the professor of the university that supervised your internship. If you did an assignment of a subject and you prepared a report, they've asked a copy of that report as well. Other things that it's probably important for you to think about photos, diagrams, tables, calculation workouts, AutoCAD screenshots. If you have other softwares that you use to calculate or to design things, it's important to have screenshots of those softwares as well. Pictures and the technical standards that you used, the name and the number of those technical standards or specifications. Ryan's asking, what do you do if you do not work for the employer anymore and cannot access project information anymore? Yeah, that can happen. One alternative is you contact your supervisor. You will have to contact your supervisor to ask for a reference letter. When you contact them, maybe you ask them the question, I'm validating my qualification and I'm going to write about the work that I did when I was working the company. Would that be possible about this particular project if I could have this, and that, and see what they say. Some people, they will say, oh yeah, that's fine. I can send you the final report. I can send you some pictures that you took. It's in the file, whatever. Others, they'll say, sorry, no, it's commercial in confidence. We're not going to send you. If it is commercial in confidence, you can say to them that Engineers Australia is not going to share the information. It's just between you and the assessor. But obviously, it's discretion of the company. If you don't have it, if they don't send to you, well, you have to do what you have to do. If Engineers Australia assessor ended up asking you those reports, you can reply saying, sorry, but I don't have it. The company doesn't want to share with me. What Engineers Australia can do, they can then contact the company and ask the question. Here, hi, this is Engineers Australia. I'm assessing the skills of a former employee of yours. Could you please confirm that he or she did this, and that? So that's why they ask to have contact details in the reference letter. And if they say yes, they did it, whatever, fine. So that's one way that Engineers Australia can do it as well. Esteban is asking, when you validate your experience, there are two ways to do it. One is with Engineers Australia, which requires a fee, and the other is when you send the EOI, which is free. Are they the same? It doesn't make sense for one to be paid and the other free. Yeah, thanks for the question, Esteban. Yeah, I know that there is the Department of Home Affairs, they can also do it. And it doesn't cost you any more than obviously your visa fee. I don't know why you pay to Engineers Australia if you can do it for free. The only thing that I've heard about, people talking about it, it's because you don't know in the Department of Home Affairs who is assessing your work experience. When Engineers Australia, they recognize, they validate your work experience, usually the Department of Home Affairs is not going to question your work experience because the assessing authority already validated. So I'm guessing that when you have that letter recognizing, validating your work experience, you know already how many points you will get. When you ask the Department of Home Affairs to do it, you are assuming that you're going to get that many points from your work experience if that work experience is validated. When you send the validated work experience from Engineers Australia, you pretty much can count on those points according to the years that that's been validated. So I think that's the only difference, is the certainty of how many points you will get from your work experience. Some hints for the reference letters. Obviously, it needs to be in the company letterhead. You got to make sure that you have the company name, location, start and finish dates. And the start and finish dates needs to be day, month, and year. Engineers Australia is very pedantic, especially if you are doing relevant skilled employment assessment. Difference of days can make a complete year. Sometimes you don't make a complete year because you got fired or you left the company just days before you completed 12 months. And that can count. Engineers Australia wants really to know if you completed those periods. It's important to have the title or position that you occupied, if it was a full-time or part-time, your salary base, as I said, the minimum of 5 main activities performed, including projects, if you know which project you're going to write in your career episode. Got to be signed by the supervisor or HR with contact details. And as I said before, in English preferably, to save money in translation. So if you're going to have 3 reference letters, if each reference letter costs you $50 to $50 to translate, 3 reference letters can save you already $150. So that's how you can start saving some money. All right, just saying that, just going to check in Instagram if there is any question there. For those in Instagram, if I pin the link in Microsoft Teams, if you want to join in Microsoft Teams, you can copy and paste the link that I put in the comments. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, you can keep going in Instagram, and don't forget to hit the like button if you think the information is relevant. And those ones in YouTube, you can go to the video description and access Microsoft Teams, or stay in YouTube, and don't forget to hit the like button as well. Hints for the CPD, your continuing professional development. Last night, we created a table for your CPD. So create the CPD table now. Could be in Word, could be in Excel, 5 columns, title, date, duration, venue, and organizer. So, and start recording your CPD. Think about the CPD that you've done it, and if you are doing from now, if you are attending a webinar with Engineers Australia, if you're reading technical specification, if you attending a workshop, if you're reading legislation about safety or environmental, make sure that you record as a CPD event. Important to record the CPD events so you don't forget them. You can search for free CPD events online, as I showed you guys last night in Engineers Australia website. There are lots and lots of webinars that are free even for non-members. And if you graduated more than 10 years ago, that's an important hint. Record at least one CPD event per year. Remember that it's just one page A4 CPD report. So you're not going to fit, especially if you are graduated like 10 years ago, you're not going to fit more than probably 20, 25 lines. Obviously, don't put very small fonts, but if you use font 10, 11, you will fit probably 20 something CPD events. 10 years, if you can fit one CPD event per year after graduation, that shows that every year you were recycling yourself. And focus on technical events. You can still use some soft skills events like your English course, like your project management course, like your business course if you did it, writing skills, those sort of courses. But when you look at the total of CPD events, majority should be technical related to your engineering field. And obviously, as I said before, just only one page in A4 size. Some hints for the career episodes. As I said last night, always in the first person. Engineers Australia Assessor is assessing you. It's not assessing the team. It's not assessing the group. It's not assessing the company. So there's no we in the career episode. Oh yeah, Jerson, but I delivered the project in a team. I didn't do it myself, so I'm not going to lie that I did everything myself. So I need to use we. Yeah, obviously, if you delivered the project as a team, you will say we, but not everywhere. You say that we delivered a particular task, and as I have in one of the dot points, when you use we or the team, you need to describe the activities that you did. So when we deliver the project, my specific activities were, and then you describe what you did. So it's important for the Engineers Australia Assessor to really understand what you did. The verbs, they need to be in the past tense. Remember what I said last night? The career episode is a narrative of the past. You are competent when you have done something. If you have done something, it's in the past. So you need to put the verbs in the past tense. And it's a good idea to include engineering evidences always when you mention an engineering activity. So diagram, calculations, formulas, tables, photos, pictures, AutoCAD, screenshots, softwares, standards, manuals. So when you say that you designed something, you design something according to a standard. So just say that I designed, let's say that you design a section of the road. When I designed that section of the road, I utilized NBR, that's a Brazilian formula. You can put a table with some of the outcomes, outputs of that calculation. If you want to put a little bit of the workout, you can put a little bit, don't put too much. If you have designed a machine and you ended up manufacturing that machine, maybe you have a picture of that machine, a photo of that machine that you took, and then attach that photo there. If you used a diagram from a technical standard, put that diagram where you can indicate that according to this time frame, the load was that one there, I used that one there. So it's important to put evidences of your engineering activity. Another important hint is to avoid the use of words like could and would. Every time that you say could and would, it implies that you haven't done yet. If this happened, I could do this, I would do that. You, even if you know what you have to do, but remember, competency is when you've done it. An example that I always say is that I love Porsches. My dream one day is to buy a Porsche 911. And I watch YouTube videos about Porsche 911s all the time. There's a particular one that it shows how it's assembled and everything else. And I watched that video, I think, 20 times. And I know everything about putting together a Porsche. But I know that. But it doesn't mean that I'm competent in manufacturing a Porsche because I've never done it. But I know how to do it. I know the sequence, the torque and everything else. I know that. But it doesn't make me competent because I've never done it. So just knowing how to do it, it doesn't mean that you're competent. So that's why when you say could and would, it talks about an hypothetical situation. You've never done it. So avoid using that. And avoid using very short paragraphs or very long paragraphs. Some people, they write a sentence and that's a paragraph. And then they write another sentence and that's another paragraph. It's not. A paragraph is a paragraph. It's more than one sentence. It's got to have an idea. So, and don't write too long as well. So an ideal paragraph would be between 100 and 150 words paragraph. So make sure that don't do it too long, because too long paragraphs will annoy the assessor, because the assessor will be reading that paragraph quite a lot. Just a second. I'm just going to change. Yeah. More hints about the career episodes. So the career episodes, it's a good idea to use engineering problems, as I said, as an experience in your career episodes. And you should be describing the problem resolution methodology that you used. And also, what was the problem? Why did you have to solve it? Options for solutions. Why did you choose a specific option? Your role in implementing the solution, and then the results that you achieved as well. So think about the problem resolution method from the beginning until the end, and then describe that process. Remember that who's going to assess your application is going to be more likely an engineer. And engineers, they vary logic. So your career episode should be logic as well. So you kind of go like a sequence. Don't try to go here and there, because you're going to, for somebody that's logic, if you start going here, and there, the assessor will get lost and it's not going to be good. So take care in using the terminology according to the category you are applying for, so you don't undervalue yourself. If you don't know what terminology to use, stop and search for the correct terminology. If you don't do that, it's likely that you're just going to write something else, which is not going to reflect the category level. For example, you're applying for professional engineer level category, and you don't know a particular terminology and engineering terminology, and then you write something else, and that's going to degrade your level because the assessor probably will be thinking that person didn't do this, instead did that in a lower level. So perhaps I should be assessing this person as a technologist or a technician, not as an engineer. So just take care and use the correct terminology. And remember again that the career episode is a narrative of the past. So you need to put all the verbs in the past. Some hints for the summary statement. Obviously, that's just my advice, but I ask my students to start the summary statement just after they wrote all 3 career episodes. So I'm suggesting to you to start your summary statement just after you finish all the 3 career episodes. You should read each one of the 16 competencies and make sure you understand each word and its meaning, not just understanding the whole context, but each word. What does this word mean? I don't know. Research the meaning of that word. It can make a difference when you are completing your summary statement. List all examples of your experience matching to each competency so you don't forget. Remember that, I don't know you, but I have a very bad memory and I can't really remember many things, especially if I'm writing something and it's taking me a few months to complete. I can think about something today. When I read the competencies, I can think about something today. And then when I'm going to write in 3 months' time, I'll probably will forget what I thought and what I remembered 3 months ago. So write it down because you will forget it. And write at least between 75 and 150 words for each competency in the middle column. Remember the middle column? It's where you're going to demonstrate how you achieved that competency. So that middle column should have between 75 and 150 words. And avoid having just one paragraph number in the competencies. In the right-hand column, avoid having 1, 2, or 3 competencies. You've got to have more paragraph numbers there because you believe that that paragraph number is related to that competency. But if the Engineers Australia assessor doesn't think the same as you, you end up with nothing in that column, and therefore you're not going to be competent. So just take care with that. And now you just need to overcome procrastination and start. And remember my recipe for success. 80% planning and organization and 20% writing. A lot of people, they start reading the booklet and they start writing already the career episodes and summary statement and everything else as they read. For me, it's not a good idea. You need to plan, you need to organize, you read, you take notes, you organize yourself, you organize your thinking, you go after documentation, you read. If you have your report, you read your report to refresh your mind, you take more notes, and then, like writing an essay, you organize your thoughts first, and then you write. And the success of the CDR process, in my view, is 80% planning and organization and 20% writing. And that's how and what I teach my students in my mentoring program that I'm going to explain to you guys now. How you can organize yourself to have a very solid CDR application and obviously improve quite substantially your chances to be approved and become an engineer in Australia. I'm going to explain to you guys, and it's not a secret, since the first day, and even in the warm-up session, I said that I was going to open a new mentoring group. I'm going to explain to you what is this mentoring program, how does it work, what is the special offer, how much is going to be the discount that I'm going to give to you guys, how much is going to cost, what's the warranty, and what are the benefits in doing that. The QR code, if you point that, is probably going to take to the mentoring page where you can see all the conditions there. But I'm going to replay this to you. Some of you already heard Erica's audio. Unfortunately, it's in Portuguese, but I've got the subtitle there. She sent me this audio message the moment that she got the email that she was approved by Engineers Australia. I think there's a question. There's a question here in Instagram. I'm going to answer that first. Yeah, Tete said, hello, Gerson. I'm working full-time in an engineer position. However, my contract is casual, in spite of to work the same hours than everybody. For the experience, is it considering as full-time? Doesn't matter if it is, thanks for the question, Tete. Doesn't matter if it is a permanent or if it is temporary or if it is casual. As long as it is full-time or part-time. If you're working more than, I think, 36 or 37 hours a week, it is considered to be, I think, full-time or even less than that. You gotta check with your migration agent what is considered to be full-time. But if you work more than those hours, you consider to be working full-time, regardless if you are a casual, regardless if you are temporary or permanent. As long as you can get the documentation that proves that you work that amount of period and you are getting paid equivalent to, let's say, a professional engineer is paid. Okay? Thank you for the question. I don't think there's other question there. No? Yeah. All right, so I will play this one. I think I need to just include the sound.
Gerson, eles responderam. Tô chorando de alegria aqui. Eles aprovaram meu diploma, graças a Deus, a minha validação, e aprovaram meus 2 anos de Austrália, mais 6 anos no Brasil. Meu Deus do céu, não tô aguentando de felicidade. Ai, meu Deus, obrigada, obrigada, obrigada. Não tenho nem como te agradecer. Nossa, muito obrigada. Gerson, você não sabe o quanto que você me ajudou. Depois eu vou até escrever um depoimento no Facebook te agradecendo, porque, nossa, muito obrigada. Foi muito essencial. Foi muito essencial. Obrigada mesmo.
Yeah, she was crying and she was so happy, and she had a very complicated case, but yeah, she managed to get her. She's civil engineer, and last year she sent me another message saying that she got her permanent visa. So I was really, really happy for her.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine how I felt when I received this message from Erica. And this type of messages, you know, I've got 36 messages of this one. Motivates me to helping you in the validation journey. And not counting many other engineers that they sent me messages because they watched my YouTube videos, they participated in the workshop, and they never became my students because they self-taught. That's fine, as long as my content can help you guys to validate your qualification and make your dream to come true. I'm happy, either if you are my student or if you just watch my free videos. If I always wanted you to become my student, I wouldn't have more than 300 videos for free in my YouTube channel. So for me, if you want to become my student, that's great. I'll be more than happy to be your mentor. If you don't, that's fine. So in the last 13 years, I've been interviewing engineers, reviewing career episodes, so they could move forward and take the next step in the professional engineering journey. And now I'm teaching this formula. That's why my validation, my mentoring, it's called validation formula. It is a formula where if you follow the methodology, if you follow the formula, you will have big chances to be approved. They managed to overcome their fears and are writing the reports confidently toward the ultimate goal, which is to get Engineers Australia approval and be recognized as engineers here in Australia. And I have already several success stories, 36 so far. People don't believe that I've got 36 approved engineers. So I put in here the WhatsApp or Telegram messages, screenshots, and you can count it, 36. Starting with Leila, Brazilian civil engineer who lives in Tasmania, submitted the CDR application in December 2019. And she was approved in January 2020. And now with this positive result, allow her and her family to get their visa as well. The second success story is Walter, a Brazilian environmental engineer who was approved in April 2020. Then it was Bernardo, a civil engineer, was approved in May 2020. In August, Cristiano, civil engineer, was also approved. Rothenberg, a mechanical engineer, approved by Engineers Australia. October, it was Erica Stern, the civil engineer that gave us this audio, living in Sydney. In December, it was Duda from Adelaide. She was approved an engineering draftsperson. In December, Ricardo, a production engineer, got the good news in Spain. In February 21, Peterson received his approval as mechanical engineer. Myra received good news as engineering draftsperson. Danielle, she received the good news in 2021 as mining engineer. And you can see that there's all types of engineers. My methodology works for every kind of engineering. Vinicius received the good news in July 2021 as electrical engineer. Alison, 2021, electronics engineer. Guilherme, mechanical engineer in September 2021. Andre, approved as civil engineer. Marceli, in October 21, civil engineer. Another Andre, in 2021 November, civil engineer. Rodrigo as production engineer in November. And also in November, Marcos was approved as a civil engineer. April 22 was Rodrigo Stern, mechanical engineer. July 22, Camila as mechatronics engineer. She is aeronautical engineer, but she was approved as mechatronics engineer. She applied as mechatronics engineer. November 22, Milton got his validation as production engineer. December 22, Marta got her chemical engineer validation. January 23, Aline got her validation as engineering technologist. April 23, Lloyd from the Philippines, some of your colleagues, got his validation as production engineer. May 23, Andre got his validation as environmental engineer. In June 23, Bruno got his validation as engineering technologist, and he's done the Post-it challenge. July 23, Felipe from Brazil got his automation and control engineer. One day later, Rafael from Brazil got his validation as product design engineer. That's quite different. August 23, Rafael from Brazil got his validation as chemical engineer. October 23, Rodrigo got his validation as civil engineer. November 23, Bruna from Brazil got her validation as industrial engineer. In November, Carla got her validation as environmental engineer. And Jari got validated last week as mechanical engineer. February 24, Luan from Gold Coast got validated as civil engineer. In March, Jivago from Brisbane also validated as civil engineer. And you can be the next validated engineer in Australia because, as I said, I'm opening registration for my validation formula mentoring program to teach you how to learn a structured method to validate your engineering degree in Australia. You may know, maybe not, but the validation formula is a mentoring program where I compile my experience of 30 years as an engineer and 18 years working as a recognized engineer here in Australia. And the mentoring program is a series of 25 modules in the style of video lessons with a total duration of approximately 9 hours. The videos are very short. There are videos of 10 minutes. Other videos, they are 30 minutes, but majority, they are short videos so you can digest information and take notes and also make sure that you plan that particular chunk of video. And those modules, they cover the entire validation process. It's a step-by-step. But the mentoring program is not just the video lessons. It's much more. With several practical examples of how you can prepare your CDR in a solid and consistent way, substantially improving your chances of being approved by Engineers Australia. Does that mean it's unique? Even though I haven't seen anything like it, I don't think it's unique. Maybe there's other people doing similar things. I still don't know. I haven't seen any other mentoring like mine. Does that mean it's the best? Not necessarily. I think it's the best because obviously I created the methodology, but not necessarily. There could be others that are also good. I don't know, but there could be. Is it guaranteed that your CDI will be approved by Engineers Australia? Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that, as the assessment is based on your skills in demonstrating the 16 competencies required by Engineers Australia, and that you have had an active academic life and or work experience in the field. But the examples I shared with you prove that the method is very strong. 36 applied and 36 approved. And with the validation formula mentoring, you learn how to make your CDR stronger and with much better chances of being approved by Engineers Australia. It's a proven method with my own approval back in 2006, and now with the approval of other 36 engineers. And you can see all sorts of engineering fields. So what's the investment required to be part of the next class of the online mentoring program, Validation Formula? Is it now that I'm going to tell you how much that's going to cost? Not quite yet. I'm going to talk to you about the 9 extra bonuses that I'm including in the validation process, in the validation mentoring. All 9 bonuses are going to be free of charge for you. In the bonuses, it will help your validation process and also will help you to get a job as an engineer in Australia, because I've got some bonuses related to after you validate your qualification to help you to get a job as an engineer. And the 9 extra bonuses are: bonus number 1 is a VIP group in the Telegram app. I'm also migrating to WhatsApp. So in the beginning, you will be part of Telegram and WhatsApp, because not many people are using Telegram. So I'm thinking that WhatsApp is more popular, so I'm migrating to WhatsApp. You'll be part of this VIP group where just my students, obviously, they're part of this group, and you can send questions, which is part of the mentoring. You send your question, and then I reply in the group. Why is in the group? Because your question can be somebody else's question in the group. And when I answer your question in the group, everybody in the group gets the answer. So everybody learns together. So you'll be part of this VIP group where mentoring students can exchange experiences to enrich their content, and will have access to my mentoring for 1 year after joining the program. So that's a question, Ryan, that you ask. How long do you have access to the information to one as your student? You have access to my mentoring program for 12 months, which I believe is enough time for you to plan and do everything. So most of the students, the ones that are serious about it, they take 4 or 5 months. So if you have some unpredictable situation and delayed your process, you talk to me and we'll discuss. Yeah. It's important to note that the mentoring is not a review of documents. However, you can send me the reference letters and the CPD, and I will provide feedback as a special bonus. The normal price is $850 just for this VIP group. You get that for free. As I said, I'm migrating from Telegram to WhatsApp, so you will be included in the 2 groups. Once I got everybody migrated, I will slowly phasing out Telegram. Bonus number 2, 3, and 4, they are ebooks that I wrote myself. Wasn't ChatGPT. I didn't get anybody else's ebook. I wrote those ebooks myself. And they have tips to preparing curriculum vitae, which is bonus number 2. You will get an ebook with 7 tips to make your CV to stand out, with more chances to be chosen by the recruitment panel. The normal price is $25. You'll get that for free. Bonus number 3 is ebook 7 tips for the preparing a cover letter. And you will get my ebook when that's going to make your cover letter much more interesting and improve your chances of being chosen for the interview. That's a secret here in Australia. You got to be chosen to the interview. When you are in the interview, if you know how to behave in an interview, the job is yours. And that's going to be the other bonus, the ebook 7 tips on how to behave in interviews. Knowing how to behave in a professional interview is essential. And with the 7 tips, it will increase your chances of being chosen as a candidate to be hired. And you could be asking yourself, why did you write those ebooks? Because I already chaired more than, 100 recruitment panels in my job in the last 15 years. I've recruited already dozens and dozens of engineers and project managers. I already analyzed thousands of curriculums and cover letters, and I sat already in hundreds of interview panels. So I know and I've seen the goods and the bads, and I compiled this in those 3 ebooks. Normal price is $25. You get that for free. Bonus number 5 are the question and answer sessions. I promote every 2 months. I promote a question and answer session for my validation formula students, where for 90 minutes, they can come and go. They can come and go, whoever is available. I invite everybody. It's not mandatory. If you want to attend, you can attend. If you don't want, that's fine. I will do in 2 months' time. And I do it every 2 months because the students, they have their own timing. Some students are doing right now. They come and they attend. Others, they're not doing at the moment because they're busy with something else. That's fine. In 2 months' time, I'm going to do another question and answer session. Those ones that were busy today, maybe in 2 months' time, they're not busy and they're going to resume their validation process and they can attend the question and answer session. And during the live sessions, the validation formula students, they may ask about the content of the classes. I'm not going to review career episodes and summary statement in those question and answer sessions because with my methodology, you don't need revision. If you follow the methodology, you don't need revision. You will write, and I've got many students that they never spoke with me. They just prepared everything. They got approved. Some of them, they didn't even let me know they got approved. When I talked to them, they said, "Oh, yeah, Jason, by the way, I got approved." And they never asked me a question. They just follow my content, follow the methodology, and they got approved. Because I'm sure that if you follow the methodology, and if you follow another bonus here that I'm going to give to you, you're not going to need revision. The duration of each Q&A is going to be 90 minutes. And the next session, I think, is going to be the 2nd of June is already the next Q&A session. The normal price is $250. You get that for free. Bonus number 6 is Skeleton Action Plan. Use a 5W2H methodology. Using this action plan skeleton, you can list all the actions that you need to do. And with that, obviously, sequence will guide you on your CDR preparation journey in only 30 days. I think that if you put your action plan, you think about, the what, whys, where, when, who, how long, how much, etc. You can put an action plan to complete everything in 30 days if you want. Some people, they need that assistance because they are in a rush. They need to finish very soon. If not, you can do it to put in 3 months, 4 months. It's important to have an action plan. Remember about procrastination? You got to have an action plan. If you don't have an action plan, procrastination can take you and drag you for like months and months and months. Bonus number 7 is one of the most important bonus, I think, is a compilation and feedback. You will have access to a preview of my compilation of comments and feedback that I provided to some students. Gerson, but you said that you don't review career episodes. Yes, I'm not promising you that I will review your career episodes as part of the mentoring program, but I do provide feedback. Sometimes, a student is a bit unsure and says, Gerson, I watched all the classes, I prepared my career episodes. Would you mind giving me some feedback? And obviously, I work full time. If I have some spare time, I will. If I don't, I will say, well, I can, but it's not going to happen in the next week or two, or in the next month. If somebody took like 5 months to put together the documentation, it's obviously unreasonable to expect I'm going to review and provide some feedback in 2 weeks. So I can say, yes, I can review it, but it will take next week. And the person said, oh yeah, that's fine. Why I do this? Because obviously I check my system to make sure that the student watched all the classes. Because if the student watched all classes, and as soon as I start reading the career episode, I know if the student watched and followed the methodology. Because when a student follows my methodology, when I read the career episode and I put some comments and some feedback, it doesn't take more than half an hour for me. And half an hour here, there, etc., that's fine. It's half an hour. It's not going to make me poorer or richer if I charge half an hour. I give it for free. But it's important for my student to have that assurance that he or she did correctly. And sometimes I just make some comment, could you please probably just change here or include a little bit in here, maybe put a picture in that, or do you have the table for that paragraph? That's a sort of comments. It doesn't cost me a lot, cost my time, but I think it's more important. I do a lot of things for free. I've already dedicated more than 5,000 hours for free. So another 30 minutes to my students. If I have to dedicate, I spent already with Erica, I spent hours and hours and hours with her, and I didn't charge her a cent because she trusted my service, and she had a really difficult case, and I wanted really to help her to be approved. So The question answer sessions will help you to avoid some of the mistakes, saving you time, effort, and money. The normal price is $300. You get that for free. Bonus number 8 is the Career Episode Planning and Summary Statement Assistant. I created an Excel spreadsheet planning tool that contains the Summary Statement Assistant, Academic Work Experience Planner, and the checklist of the 16 competencies. Those spreadsheets are to help you to organize and to plan your CDR application. They're all blank things, so you need to populate those spreadsheets to help you to organize your thinking, to plan the sequence of your career episodes and your summary statement. And obviously, I've got a tutorial that I explain how to use those planners as well. Normal price, $100, you get that for free. Note that those prices, if you're not my student, you cannot buy just that one day. But to my students, I was charging. Now I'm giving that as part of the bonus. And the last bonus is meeting of the validation form with students. Actually doing that together with the question and answer sessions. I invite all students, those ones that got validated as well, to share experiences. Obviously, if they can, they attend. If they can't, I can't force them to attend. But I promote that encounter so we can exchange experiences. Because to get farther, you go with somebody. You don't go alone. Every time that you try to go alone, you're probably not going to go too far. And these meeting sessions will be promoted via live webinar, like this one, twice a year. Normal price is $200. You get that for free. So when you add up all these bonuses, the total amount is $1,800, but you will get that for free. And also here, some engineers, they let me know that they consulted with some agents to get a one-on-one consultation. The consultants and some agents, they charge you $4,000, $7,000 to guide you hand by hand. And but that's a lot of money. If I had time, a lot of people asked me to do one-on-one consulting, and they were willing to pay $300 an hour, 30 hours. Make the calculation, $9,000. So, but I think it's a fair price, you know, to make sure that you will get a one-on-one consultation for 30 hours. Make sure that backs and forwards, that your career episodes and everything else will be perfect, almost perfect. I think it's a fair price. But obviously, I used to be an international student. I know how difficult it is to save money. You gotta renew your visa. You gotta pay your renewal of your course, and that's why I did as a group. When I do a group mentoring, I can split the costs and make the mentoring more affordable. But when you think that validating your qualification can get you the door for a permanent visa or a job as an engineer, and get a job that possibly will pay you $60,000, $70,000, $8,000, $100,000, even more than $100,000 a year, and for several years, that $4,000, $7,000 is not much if you think about it. But I know that many of you cannot immediately afford $7,000. So what I propose to do, being that the goal is to help you to achieve your life transformation in a more affordable way, the investment for you to secure a place in the next class of the validation formula is going to be just $1,747. So that's the normal investment. If you want to join outside of the workshop, that's what you're going to pay. But I have a special offer for you. It's really a great opportunity to begin your journey towards validating your engineering degree here in Australia. And because you participated in the workshop and you follow me in my Instagram you support me in my YouTube live sessions, you respond to my emails when I send to you guys, I'll give you a super discount of $600, and obviously you still get the 9 bonuses. So until tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd of May, 11:59 Brisbane time, you have that special offer. You're just going to pay $1,147 until tomorrow, 22nd of May, 11:59 Brisbane time. That is Wednesday. If you procrastinate, if you wait, or if you forget, you didn't attend tonight, or you didn't open my emails, you didn't check the WhatsApp and Instagram, and then you want to join the mentoring program on Thursday, from Thursday, the discount drops to $400. You just miss out $200 discount for the first 20 students. After the 20 students, the investment goes back to $1,747. But for the first 20 students, if you miss out the special offer until tomorrow, the investment is $1,347. And you still get the 9 bonuses. And the enrollments are going to close this Sunday. So I'm finishing the enrollments this Sunday, 11:59 p.m., because I need to dedicate time to the new students. And as I said before, the first catch-up class is going to be already on the 2nd of June. So the special offers are a real win-win strategy. You supported me by having participated in the workshop, and I help you with an offer that cannot be declined. I'll give you a discount, and there's the warranty. You haven't heard about the warranty. I'll give you a discount of $600 for having participated as a special offer, plus obviously the 9 bonuses. So the investment is going to be just $1,147. And that's the link I'll put here in the comments, so you can check out after this, validationmentoring.com. So that's the website that you can check. I can probably show you as well. I'll put in Instagram and also in YouTube. So be quick and enjoy until tomorrow. You still have the discount, and honestly, just the bonuses are worth $1,800, which is almost 1.5 times the investment that you're going to make if you join, obviously, during the special offer. And if you're excited about the special offer, the bonuses, the warranty on that is that in the first 30 days, if you have had no benefit through the validation formula classes and my mentoring on Telegram in providing a learning for a stronger CDR application, you just need to email me and put a copy of your CDR documentation, so I know that at least you tried to do it, and I will return 100% the investment that you paid. If you paid $1,147, I will return $1,147. I'm not even going to discount the fee that the credit card discounts for me. If you paid $1,347, I will return $1,347, whatever was the amount that you paid. So that's it. You're not at any risk. Simple as that. You can pay, you can join today. In 30 days, when you watch the classes, you ask questions, you don't think it adds any value, and I know that you're not going to trick me, watching everything and finishing everything and then saying that it didn't help you. If it did help you, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to say that it didn't, just to have your money back. You'll be pleased to have entered in my mentoring program and have a very strong CDR application. So start your dream transformation into reality by being recognized as an engineer professional here in Australia. And with just the investment of $1,147, you can start your validation journey tonight. So don't waste time and secure a place with this irresistible offer. I'm going to share with you the website that you go. So you can actually go there. That's the link. Where's that? Sorry. Where's that? Where's my? Yeah, that's the one. So when you go there, it explains everything about the bonuses. All the things are there. What you get, the warranty. There's some testimony videos there as well. And if you're happy, you just need to click the button, enroll now, and then it will open up where you can add to the cart. That's already with the discount. And then got the $600 discount. You proceed to checkout, and then you put your details. You will set your username and your password, and then you indicate if it's going to be credit card or debit card, direct bank transfer, PayPal, and then you place the order. If you want to do direct bank transfer, you will get an email with my bank details, and the order gets on hold until you make the transfer. And there's instructions to send me an email with the receipt of the bank transfer. Once the funds they clear, the system will allow you to access the portal. And to access the portal, if you pay credit card, you get access straight away, and that is the mentoring portal. So that's how you're going to see that. When you put your login details, you get access to the portal there. You view the mentoring program, and here you will find all the classes. For example, there's a welcome video. You will find the videos there. There's actually 2 players. I'm testing 2 players just to see which player is working. The content is the same, but these are short videos.
I hope you have enjoyed my short welcome video. And if you haven't watched the video yet,
so those are the videos there, and all the bonuses are here. You can download, for example, if you want to read the ebook, you can download the ebook straight away, and you can read in here, or you can download the PDF as well. And there's in Portuguese as well, because a lot of my students are Brazilian, so I've got a Portuguese version. And all the modules, there are some tutorials, even I think there's a tutorial even to apply in the Engineers Australia My portal.
Hi everyone, this is Gerson, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you the Engineers Australia engineer from the Asia Pacific. When you click on that button, it will open up steps for the CDR.
It's a tutorial where I show where to click the button, what you need to do, what you need to select, what you need to fill in, etc., etc. So it's a fairly comprehensive video classes there. There are 25 modules, and each of the competency of the 16 competencies, I have a video for each competency where I give a lot of examples.
Welcome to this module, and I'll be covering the 4th of the 16 competencies required by Engineers Australia as part of your CDI.
So I explain all the competencies. I give many examples what you can consider to be under each competency, which is one of the biggest challenges. Okay. Stop sharing, share another one. Go back to the PowerPoint there. So the video lessons will be available as soon as you join the mentoring program. And unless obviously you do direct bank transfer. So right now I have a chance to enroll in my mentoring program with the $600 discount. And believe it or not, all you need to do is to beat procrastination and take a small step towards your goal. And between you and me, I know that you want to validate your engineering degree. If you didn't want to, you would have removed yourself from my mailing list a long time ago. But being recognized as an engineer is not for anyone. Being recognized is for the unreasonable. My wife and I were unreasonable back in 2005 when we dropped everything, our great jobs, our comfortable life, family, friends, perks, and we came here. We cleaned toilets, cleaned floors, washed dishes, served as waiters. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a job like anything else. I don't think we were very reasonable. At least our families didn't think we were reasonable, having a good life in Brazil and coming here to work in those type of work. But today we know that if we had been reasonable, we would be in the same situation until this day. Still probably in Brazil, doing the same work, getting stressed the way that we were doing. So think about the big changes you've made in your life until this day. Should be unreasonable be a common term between them? Most of people I talk to say, yes, they were unreasonable. And I'm giving you this opportunity now. Don't miss this opportunity. I know that $1,147, it's a lot of money. However, it's probably not a lot of money for the value of the content that you're going to get, for the opportunity for you to get closer to become an engineer here in Australia and keep going with your immigration process. So don't miss this opportunity, get a special offer and be part of the validation formula. I'm going to be closing enrollments this Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to open another one. A lot of people since March asked me when I was going to open a new group. I'm opening now. When I'm going to open a new one, I don't know. It could be July, August, September. It could be before, depending on how many people they ask me. So visit my website, validationmentoring.com, and click the button on the page to enroll now. If you have questions, please let me know. You all have my WhatsApp. You can send me a question. If you're not quite sure, we can talk tomorrow. Just gotta make sure that you take the special offer until tomorrow, 11:59. Be unreasonable. Make it happen. And a legend says that one of the greatest pains of those who are on the deathbed is regret. And I believe it's very difficult to find someone at the end of life who feels sorry to have been unreasonable. Most people regret that they were not unreasonable enough when they were given the opportunity. Think about it. And now I'm going to do the 75% discount. But I saw that not many people did the challenge. So if I'm going to check here, because if people didn't do the challenge, then there's no point for me to do the draw. So I will just check. In the post, there are posts about the post-it, but there's no comments about the learning. So I don't believe I need to do the discount draw. So I had somebody that did the stories, but didn't put the learning, so it's not really eligible. So we'll skip the discount. I'll give the discount in the next mentoring program that I open. Even the 15 minutes, because if you haven't done the comments, there's no 15 minutes of consulting as well. So I would like to thank you very much for participating in the workshop. This coming Sunday, I'm going to do the live session about the biggest fears in the validation process. It's going to be 8 p.m. Brisbane time in my YouTube channel and in my Instagram profile. So if you have questions about the mentoring program, please let me know. We'll be more than happy to clarify any question. Okay. Again,